So I was a hippie in a rainforest and I had 6 children and we're a long way from town, and I thought there's got to be little bits and pieces that I can do on the kids at home.
I've come to the Misty Mountain Health Retreat in central New South Wales to meet Barbara O'Neill. She's a naturopath and nutritionist who's been helping people for about 40 years.
I used to talk to old ladies, I found books on it, I found herbs in the garden that I could boil up, and the kids got better, and so then I started to help other mothers. That's really how I got into it. I found out later they called me the Earth Mother.
Right. People travel from all around the world to meet Barbara and spend time at the retreat.
It's fantastic, steam room, it's wonderful, it's quite invigorating.
Some have come here with quite serious illnesses, like Lisa.
I really believe in it, I just always have, and it's, unfortunately, I've found a reason to use it.
She doesn't want to tell me what the illness is, but Lisa's gone against her doctor's advice to have surgery and put her trust in Barbara instead.
Some people just go, well, whatever the doctor says I've got to do, because the doctors know everything. And I don't believe that they do.
What about family and friends? How do they feel?
That was really interesting, and that was pressure to start off with, for sure. My partner especially straight away said, you're getting this done, you're doing this. And I was like, no, I don't believe in that.
But now Barbara's work as an alternative healer is under threat.
Unfortunately, it is claimed that I am a health risk now. If someone has cancer, my suggestion is no fruit for 6 weeks.
As well as the health retreat, Barbara posts lectures online. They've had hundreds of thousands of views.
And it's the cycle of life that proves why vaccines don't work, because the body can heal itself.
Barbara's views are so controversial that complaints have been made, and she's been banned from practicing while the New South Wales health regulator investigates.
O'Neill presents dangerous health advice regarding nutrition, vaccination and alternative cancer treatments.
O'Neill's claims are contrary to all established medical evidence.
O'Neill gives dangerous dietary advice to people with cancer.
Is all your advice based essentially on pseudoscience?
I don't think so. People are looking for an alternative, and the alternatives that I'm offering, they're not new. They've been done for thousands of years, and they don't hurt to try them.
I hear St John's Wort.
At least one of those who called for the ban against Barbara is linked to an association headed up by this man.
We certainly do raise concerns and complaints about practitioners who potentially can be dangerous. And by and large, patients that stick to alternate therapies rather than more evidence-based conventional therapy come to a sticky end.
Dr. Ken Harvey is president of a group called Friends of Science in Medicine. They've lobbied for a crackdown on alternative medicines and therapies.
There is a proportion of evidence-based products here, but how is someone, the average consumer, going to know?
Ken was also part of a controversial government review that's about to change what's available for private health fund rebates. That means no more money back on things like yoga, Pilates or homeopathy come April 1.
I think there are some areas where we can be quite confident that there is no good evidence and it's unlikely that there will be. For example, homeopathy has been going for 200 years, and I think the consensus is that homeopathy doesn't work.
The review found that available evidence didn't show homeopathy was an effective treatment for the conditions assessed in trials, that there's weak evidence that yoga improves symptoms of depression, and the effectiveness of reflexology is uncertain.
Upper arms lift up by the ears, everything comes up.
Nicola Ellis is a therapeutic yoga teacher, and she works with some pretty mainstream organisations.
At the moment, we're running a program for cancer survivors through Cancer Council New South Wales. People come for anxiety and depression on the one hand, and chronic pain conditions like cancer and autoimmune diseases on the other.
And what are your concerns around the changes to the legislation? What impact do you think it will have?
I think it's a shame, and I think it means that many people will miss out on the health benefits of yoga, people will start to make the decision maybe to just not take up the exercise, maybe to stay home and not do it, because it's going to cost them too much money now.
This is where the magic happens.
Associate Professor John Wardle conducts research into complementary therapies. He says that there is good evidence for some of them. It's just that the government review excluded it.
It didn't look beyond the English language, so things like yoga, where a lot of the research is Indian, things like Tai Chi, where a lot of the research is Chinese, things like Shiatsu, where most of the research is in Japanese, were just not even looked at all.
John says most of us use these therapies alongside mainstream medical treatments, and we want good research to inform our healthcare choices. But when it comes to doing large-scale, high-quality clinical trials on complementary therapies, there are challenges.
It's much harder to fund research into what we'd probably term as traditional therapies that have been around for a long time than it is in new pharmaceuticals that you can patent or monetize more effectively.
Another problem is that natural therapies as a term is a kind of mixed bag that doesn't help the public differentiate the quack treatments from ones that are more legit.
So you have everything from someone who is using superstitious beliefs and using omens and amulets to something that's quite evidence-based now, like yoga or Tai Chi.
So on the top there you've got a variety of different herbal extracts, so they're herbs. The bottles on the bottom are homeopathic medicines. Down here we have a wide range of herbal teas.
Jerry Dendrinas is a homeopath who's leading a campaign against the changes to the health fund rebate. He says the new legislation will restrict people's healthcare choices.
So what do you say to people who are total skeptics who would look at this and say it's a bunch of junk, it's pseudoscience?
Well, those people are free not to use it, but the people that do use it find it works, which is why they continue to support it.
Jerry wants the government and groups like Friends of Science in Medicine to keep an open mind.
Why not allow people to have the freedom of choice to access those therapies if they find them useful? Why not allow the health insurance industry to rebate them if they want?
We're not against people going to see a naturopath or a homeopath or an iridologist, but we would like them to understand the limitations of the evidence supporting these particular therapies.
Back at the Misty Mountain Health Retreat, more than 20,000 supporters of Barbara O'Neill have signed a petition calling for her ban to be lifted. They say it's their right to access her advice.
Do you think your philosophy on health is putting people at risk?
No, I don't. I don't tell people what to do. I provide the information, and whatever a person chooses to do, I respect their choice.